Midnight had already folded over Maple Hollow, a town that usually fell asleep before the late news sign-off. Then, a single phone began to ring inside an empty house. The neighbors never heard it, but the system did. A dispatcher logged an open line. Heavy static, a low hum like air moving through vents. Then something that might have been breathing. The call was traced to 45 Maple Street, a property listed as vacant since 2000. What followed lasted just under 13 minutes and would become one of the strangest cases in county history. People still argue about what really happened that night. Equipment failure, trespassers, or something far older hiding behind the walls. Whatever it was, that first ring was the sound of Maple Hollow's long quiet being broken for good.
Maple Hollow looked harmless by daylight. White fences, tidy lawns, a coffee shop that closed at 7. But locals whispered about the house on the hill. Kids dared each other to touch its rusted gate. Adults crossed the street instead. The property once belonged to a man named Daniel Reeves, a quiet repairman who lived alone. He died in a highway crash 3 years before the call. His house was boarded up, sold, then abandoned when buyers backed out after hearing noises. Older residents still recall the night Daniel's belongings were cleared out, tools missing from locked cabinets, lights flickering though power was cut. Some said it was faulty wiring. Others said it was Daniel coming home one last time. When the emergency center logged that signal from the same address, the old rumor became something impossible to ignore.
The dispatcher on duty, Janet Collins, had worked the night shift for 15 years. She was calm under pressure, until that call. The line opened with static, then a muffled whisper. "It's here." Janet tried every protocol, trace, callback, cross-patch, but the signal jumped between towers like it couldn't decide where to exist. Officers Rayner and Mitchell were sent to check the property. As they drove up the hill, both reported the same thing. Their radios flickered with a second voice repeating Janet's questions half a second late. When they reached the porch, the air felt thick, charged. Inside, dust covered everything except a narrow trail of footprints leading upstairs. At the end of the trail sat an old rotary phone, its cord cut clean years ago. Yet the receiver was warm. The officers exchanged a look neither has ever forgotten. Then, the attic light turned itself on. Officer Rayner's flashlight cut through the dust, catching the faint outline of handprints on the attic door. Each print faced inward, as if someone had been trying to keep it shut. Inside, the air was still. An unfinished room, cracked plaster, the faint scent of ozone. The rotary phone sat in the middle like an exhibit. Rayner lifted the receiver. Static, then a click. A voice, his own, quietly echoing back every word he spoke. He set it down and backed away. When he turned, his partner was staring at the wall. A child's drawing had been scratched into the paint, 2 stick figures and a black shape between them. Downstairs, the dispatcher's line went dead for good. By morning, Maple Street was crawling with investigators. Cameras flashed, technicians logged every inch. Nothing explained the call. The wiring had been removed from the junction box years before, yet the phone's internal clock stamped the exact time the line opened, 11:47 p.m. County records showed no power to the property since 2001. The generator cables were cut, batteries corroded. Officer Mitchell left the force 6 months later. When interviewed, she said the strangest thing wasn't the phone, it was the silence. Like the house was holding its breath, waiting for us to leave. The report was filed, the evidence sealed, and Maple Street slipped back into rumor. 3 years later, a university sound engineering team reopened the file.
They believed the call was a form of residual transmission, sound trapped in damaged copper wiring, replaying fragments of past conversations. But when they analyzed the waveform, they found overlapping frequencies that didn't belong to human speech. One signal ran backward. Lead researcher Dr. Hao Nguyen described it best. It's as if 2 timelines were trying to share the same line. The discovery birthed what enthusiasts called echo calls, phantom transmissions from places charged with trauma. Forums lit up with stories of phones ringing in abandoned hospitals, of voicemail timestamps from the future. Yet every discussion circled back to one case: Maple Street.
Late in 2006, an intern at the county archive digitized the Maple Street tape. Halfway through the conversion, the speakers emitted a faint ringing, 3 short tones not on the original reel. Then a whisper. "Don't let it out." The intern deleted the copy and resigned the next day. But fragments of the digital file had already uploaded to a cloud server used by the state university. Within hours, the clip spread through message boards and video sites under the tag #MapleCall. Most who heard it dismissed it as an art project. Others claimed headaches, insomnia, and a strange compulsion to dial their own number at 11:47 p.m. In 2011, the county decommissioned its analog 911 system. Every archived frequency was supposed to fall silent, but one line refused to shut down. Technicians found it still pulsing at irregular intervals, each spike matching the original Maple Street timestamp. When they cross-checked tower logs, the signal appeared to originate from nowhere, triangulated to a patch of empty woodland where the house had once stood before it was demolished. The team recorded the pulse for 11 minutes, then watched it vanish mid-wave. One technician joked that maybe the house wasn't done talking. None of them laughed. A decade later, a local filmmaker named Aaron Dawes began producing a web series about unsolved small-town mysteries. Episode 1, The Maple Street Call. While interviewing former dispatcher Janet Collins, Aaron noticed a wall clock in the background flicker to 11:47 p.m. on camera, though they had filmed in broad daylight. When she reviewed the audio, a faint double echo trailed every line Janet spoke. Aaron cut the scene from the upload. The raw file later corrupted, leaving only a timecode repeating 00:11:47. Out of curiosity, or obsession, Aaron drove to the site that had once been Maple Street, only a foundation album swallowed by weeds. She placed her phone on the old doorstep slab and started recording ambient sound. For 6 minutes, nothing. Then, the faint mechanical click of a rotary dial turning once, twice, 3 times. Her battery indicator jumped to 11%, then froze at 47. The file stopped on its own. The final frame showed her reflection in the phone's dark screen, and a second silhouette standing behind her shoulder. Greater than. Skeptics call Maple Street a coincidence wrapped in myth. Engineers point to signal bounce, data compression, even cosmic ray interference. But believers see a pattern, places where tragedy and technology intersect, replaying memories like broken records. Every October, residents report static bleeding through their radios at exactly 11:47 p.m. The signal carries no message, only the sound of breathing.
Whether it's science, spirit, or story, one truth remains. Some lines refuse to stay disconnected. A year after Aaron's visit, another unexplained transmission surfaced, this time hundreds of miles away, in a coastal research station that had never handled emergency calls. The audio was nearly identical, a 13-minute hum, a whisper, and a voice repeating, "Don't let it out." Investigators are still tracing that file. In our next episode, we'll follow the signal to the ocean's edge and uncover what the scientists found waiting beneath the waves. Until then, keep an ear on the line.